Okay, so this is another preliminary fight from the World Combat Championships that happened back on October 17th of 1995. And this was a fight between Sean McCully, representing the art of Muay Thai kickboxing, against Erik Paulson, who here it says he represents June Fan, but I think, and that was more like the kind of style of kung fu that Bruce Lee originally did before he made Jeet Kune Do, the Bruce Lee martial art or what have you. So, but what's very odd about this is two things. One, the World Combat Championship had this idea of having a grappling division, and then the person that wins the grappling division gets to the finals, and the striking division, and the person that gets, to the striking division gets to the finals. And this is the striking division, but Erik Paulson was really more a grappler, or at least certainly more of like a, mixed martial artist. Anyway, you'll see what I mean. It's a really weird fight. If there's a major advantage, although I would say it's a very different 185 pounds. So the difference between the grappling division and the striking division in the WCC, the World Combat Championship, was basically two things. One, people in the striking division were only allowed a few minutes on the ground. 2 minutes, maybe, I think. And also, they weren't allowed to do submission holds. Arm bars, triangle chokes, that kind of stuff. You could still take people down, and you could still do like ground and pound and what have you, but you couldn't apply submission holds, which made it a sort of, especially brutal. Because you couldn't do people like, the professional, if you don't mind, I'll just choke you unconscious. You weren't allowed to do the gentle art, so to speak. You had, to beat your opponent silly. You know what I mean? Even if you were on the ground, And Erik Paulson here, even though he knows a whole bunch of submission holds, he's not allowed to do any of them in this division. And I think he wanted to be in the grappling division, but over and see here, it says Japanese shoot wrestling. I mean, they do submission holds and that, chokes and arm locks and stuff. I think he wanted to be in the grappling division, but Renzo Gracie's in the grappling division. And I'm pretty sure Erik Paulson had been training with Rickson Gracie. And so I think he got in a lot of trouble for entering this event. And I don't know. He, for some reason, got put in the striking division. And this is his opening fight. And bear in mind also, third thing, grabbing the hair is allowed. And as you can see, Erik Paulson has a bit of a bun going on there, And it kind of gets to him a little bit in this fight. But, if you search my YouTube channel, you'll really see another fight where that whole hair thing doesn't work out for him whatsoever, And also, you can see that Sean McCully here is grabbing the fence. You're allowed to do that in this event because it's from so long ago. It's before people had really worked out rules, so to speak, So their hands are both taped to the point where they're like woodworking mallets, and they're allowed to grab the fence. They're allowed to grab hair. There's another fight I uploaded where people are eye gouging each other and headbutting's allowed. Look at this. That's a nice big throw, actually. And see here, look, he probably could here submit him with a triangle choke, but you're not allowed. And Cecil Peoples, the referee, he continually yells at them, no submissions, no submissions, And here he probably could have put that guy in a triangle choke and sealed the deal right there, or an arm lock or whatever, But you're not allowed to. You can only win by striking. It's the striking division, right? So it seems somehow cruel to say to somebody, you know what? You're not allowed to choke somebody into a peaceful sleep, but you can eye gouge them, And truthfully, eye gouging was probably illegal, but there was a few fights in this event where people are clearly getting eye gouged, and nobody's doing a thing about it. And you can see headbutting is totally okay, And look at that. See, look at Sean McCully holding onto his ponytail and elbowing him in the face. See that? That's nasty. That is nasty. Which is why whenever I meet someone that tells me they do grappling for self-defense, I always say to them, but you haven't shaved your head. Why? Or if they have like long flowing hair and they're doing martial arts for self-defense, I'm like, but you haven't cut your hair. And also you haven't grown your fingernails, if you're doing something if you have self-defense in mind, you should shave your head and grow your fingernails and maybe sharpen your teeth. You know what I mean? To improve your biting power, you know? And if you're not doing that, then you're not taking your self-defense seriously enough, you know? Look at this. It's the striking division, and the Muay Thai guy has the shoot wrestling champion in a headlock, and he's punching him in the face. And look at that. Paulson's trying to push his head up, and I don't want to say there's eye gouging there, but, you know, look at that. See, look at that. I don't know, man. That falls into the category of eye gouging in my book, you know. See? It's the striking division. They had their 2 minutes on the ground. They're back up again. Here we go. You know, like just, I don't know. It's just kind of ugly. It's just a nasty, you know, just nasty. You know? And clearly Erik Paulson has, you know, striking skills. But what's sad is he's not allowed to use his, you know, his knowledge of submission holds. And the other guy's grabbing onto his hair, and the other guy's grabbing the fence, and there's only 2 minutes allowed when you're on the mat. Like, just, see, and look now, Sean McCully's holding the fence there. Like, just, my God, how could this fight get uglier, you know? Just nasty. You know? Yep. You know what's funny? Sometimes in martial arts fights or what have you, sometimes you see the clean application of technique that's done like beautifully and skillfully. You know what I mean? You're like, I can appreciate that. And then sometimes you see this stuff. People getting head-butted and bleeding, and they're all sweaty, and look, he's holding on to his shorts, and it's just, you know, it's just nasty. It's just ugly. And you're like, my God, you know, and then you're watching it while eating like chicken wings, and you just feel like, what the hell is wrong with me? What is this? Is this a form of entertainment for me? What's going on? Anyway, now Paulson's mounted on him. He's pounding away. I think Cecil Peoples is screaming at him, no submissions, you know? And from here, he could put a choke on him. You know, he could choke him and save him. I think he's elbowing him, the tip of his elbow right in the back of his head. You know? And the referee's telling him he can't choke the guy. Like, just please let him choke the guy and gently put him unconscious. You gotta give him permanent brain damage. And look at that, he's elbow spiking him right in the back of the head. Like, that could mess somebody up really, really bad. God in heaven. Like, how do you do this, or how do you watch this and not just feel, I don't know, sickened? Maybe that's the word, sickened, you know? Look at that. It just, holy smokes. And the Muay Thai guy's tapping out. He's like, yeah, I want my spinal column to attach to my brain, thanks. And look at his hair is all messed up. He's bleeding from the eye. Everybody gets a high five. You know, after something like this, there should be no high fives. You know what I mean? This is the kind of thing where it's like, it doesn't end with congratulations, people hugging each other. Like, what? Is it just me, or is there a strange disparity between, like, seconds ago, I was spiking the tip of my elbow into the back of your head. I could have killed you, you know? And you were pulling on my hair. I'm bleeding from my eye. My hair is all messed up. Now we're hugging? I don't know. It just doesn't seem like the clean application of martial arts skill the way you sometimes see. Jesus.
Early on, Bob, it appeared that it was all McCully.
Yep.
No question. McCully took it to him, and he seemed to.
See? Gets a hold of his hair. I'm telling you, if you're concerned about self-defense, if you're practicing martial arts for self-defense, shave your head. Otherwise, this might happen to you. Shave your head and grow your fingernails and file your teeth down into, you know, till you look like a human shrew or something. Otherwise, you don't take your self-defense seriously enough. That's what I say. You know? Look at this. It's crazy how he wins this fight in the striking division with grappling. Does he submit him? No, but he does what's called the gift wrap. He gets him to turn his back. He's doing this, you know? Just nasty. Just nasty.
And on his feet, and that really showed in the clutch there at the end of the fight.
Wowzers.
Well, let's look to the ring announcer, John Higginson, for the decision. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the first fight in the
This announcer's sure a piece of work, isn't he?
time of 5 minutes and 17 seconds, winning by a
What blows my mind is Erik Paulson doesn't, after this, he doesn't cut his hair. You would think you would cut your hair between fights. I don't think he was allowed to, though, because he was like a stuntman or something, and they were like, no cutting your hair, Erik Paulson. You know?